Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, Wootini from the late-lamented-gay-gamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast. Remember last week when I said that I didn't know what I was going to have to talk about this week because I'm still waiting for No Man's Sky? Well, I have a lot to talk about, as it turns out. Go figure. You never know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to start real quick with an announcement, sort of, because regular viewers know that I'm a big comic book fan and I love my comic book movies, but don't look for a review of Suicide Squad because I don't want to see Suicide Squad. I am one of those people. Now, I am not biased because when I was a kid, DC Comics were my jam. I didn't read a lot of Marvel. I read DC. I was all over Justice League, Teen Titans. I was a big fan. DC. Not so much Marvel. I didn't really read the X-Men that much, so whatever. But I do like the Marvel movies more than the DC movies, because the Marvel movies have more of a sense of fun about them and adventure, and it's more like what I want from a comic book movie. Whereas the DC movies, they tend to take themselves very seriously, and it's a little ridiculous because you have a man dressed up as a bat. That's ridiculous inherently, like, come on. So, you know, he takes himself so seriously that it just kind of gets ridiculous. I still never saw the third Christian Bale Batman movie just because I did not like the first two at all. But Suicide Squad, I will say, is kind of a perfect fit for the DC cinematic universe because, I mean, Batman is grim and gritty and violent, sure, fine. But then they made Superman grim and gritty and violent, which is not how Superman is supposed to be, and I've said this in previous episodes, complaining about the Superman movies. So, that seems to be they want their cinematic universe to be dark, grim, violent, and overly serious. So, Suicide Squad is kind of perfect because you can't complain that these characters are being too grim and violent because they're villains. So, yay, that's kind of the perfect fit for them. But because they're grim, violent villains, I'm sure there's some black humor in it, and it's entertaining and whatever, but there is nothing there to make me want to go to the theater. So we'll be seeing that on Netflix or HBO or something down the road sometime. As far as gaming goes, first, last week I talked about the new Style Savvy game, Fashion Forward, that's coming out in a couple of weeks for the Nintendo 3DS, and Nintendo has released a demo that you can try, and I immediately, as soon as I saw that, I downloaded it and gave it a try, and it's basically, you know, it's the same Style Savvy game. I mean, and it's also, again, on the 3DS, so there's not like going to be like a huge, it's the same system, so there's not going to be like a big graphical upgrade or anything to it. They've changed the interface as far as like navigating around the city and stuff, and there seems to be more stuff in the city, but you can't do it all in the demo, obviously, so that'll have to wait until the full game to see exactly what's in there, and just how interactive the city is this time. Pardon my hamster spinning in his wheel, that's the noise, the rattling you hear in the background. I'm not stopping. But the game is basically the same as before. You go to the city and suddenly some random stranger asks you to help them run their fashion boutique, and all these customers beg you to find them outfits and clothing and stuff. But this time they've added hairstyling and makeup as well, because in the demo it takes you through the beginning of the game where this girl is so obsessed with this like model that she wants to look exactly like her, so she asks you to pick out an outfit. Okay, fine. It's completely inappropriate for this nerdy little woman, but whatever. And then she's like, oh, I need new hair. And you go to the hair salon, and the hairstylist is like, I'm too busy for this. And then this woman turns to you and goes, oh, you can do it. You can do my hair. And I'm like, I am a complete stranger that you just met. I'll pick out an outfit for you, but you want me to do your hair? And then she does the same thing with makeup, which I didn't actually get perfect. She loved the outfit and she loved the hair. She liked the makeup, but I apparently didn't do the eyeliner correctly. what do I know about eyeliner? She had a picture of the model that she wanted to look like, and I was just trying to match the colors and everything. But she said she had like marked the colors on the back of the photo, and while I could see the photo to copy for her makeup, I couldn't figure out how to flip the photo over and look at the colors, so I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, so whatever. But it's super fun, and there's tons of new labels of clothing that are not in the demo, unfortunately, so I don't know, but they sound cool. And they also upgraded the hairstyling so that now you choose the basic style, long, short, medium, and then you can change the fringe so that you can have the bangs going in different directions, or curled, or braided, or whatever, and you can combine the two, and that helps make a bunch more hairstyles as opposed to just these set numbers. Looking around the hairstyles, it does appear that there are empty spaces, so maybe there's more hair that's going to be available later. Hopefully in the full game maybe there's more hair, because it did seem like there was a limited selection of hairstyles. Adding the fringe to it does multiply those, because you can have the different combinations, so that does multiply them, but I'd like a few more base ones. And I'm assuming that they'll also add like more makeup colors if you're going to be doing a makeup salon and doing people's makeup and stuff. But it's super fun, and it's style savvy. You know if you like it. Like, they're just doing another one. But I'm looking forward to doing people's hair and makeup. I think that'll be a nice change of pace as opposed to like always just doing the clothing. And then you would do hair and makeup when you were like dressing a model for a fashion show competition, or doing it for your own character. But doing that for other people, I think that's going to add a lot more variety to the game. So you could do clothing, you get bored with that, you do some hair, you get bored with that, you do some makeup, and you can switch around so it doesn't get stale. So I'm looking forward to playing Style Savvy, Fashion Forward in a couple of weeks. Next, the other new game that I started playing, which is not technically a new game because I did play it way back in the day on my PS2, is Dragon Quest VIII. I noticed someone on Twitter asking Amazon how they were supposed to download the free copy of Dragon Quest VIII that they had purchased. I was like, what? So I pick up my tablet, go to open Amazon, search for Dragon Quest, and I found it, and it said $19.99 crossed out, free. So I was like, download, install, yes please. Because Dragon Quest VIII on the PS2, it was one of my all-time favorite RPGs. It's just fun, I love the characters, the stories. I don't remember the story, but I assume I liked the story. I mean, that was so long ago. The characters are great, and I loved the art direction. The art design is just phenomenal. It was so great. So I'm looking forward to playing it again. I've started it. It appears to be the same game, just vertical on a tablet instead of horizontal on your TV, which is so that you can have the room for the controls at the bottom. Which, being a turn-based RPG, it's fine because you're just tapping buttons to select who you're going to attack and what you're going to do. The moving is the only thing that's still giving me a little trouble because I tend to move my finger too far to the outside of the directional circle, and I'll run, and then I'll run into a wall and I'll have to turn around and adjust the camera, and it's a pain in the butt. So I have to try to like just walk a little, but so far, like, the graphics look terrific. It probably looks better than it did on the PS2, to be honest. I haven't pulled out my PS2 and found the game to try to compare, but I'm assuming. But it does slow down a little, I've noticed. Like, walking around, sometimes it gets and loading screens take forever. But that's probably just because I have, like, a low-end Samsung Galaxy Tab. So, like, I don't have, like, a iPad with, like, super fast processing and whatever. So, mine's just good. But it's not unplayable. Like, it's fine. Like, the loading screens take a while. But actually moving around and doing stuff, it's not too bad. That's fine. And I'm not gonna, like, dive right in and just play that because, I've already played it. but it's cool to have it as like a backup, like on my tablet, just for like whenever I feel like, oh, let me just adventure a little for a while and stuff. It's good to have it there, and I didn't pay for it. I don't know why it was free. Maybe it was a glitch. I don't know, but I got it for free, and it's on my tablet, and I'm playing it. So, ta-da! And then, lastly, one more thing to talk about. Because No Man's Sky is coming out so soon, I mean, literally, like, 48 hours from now as I tape this, I will be playing No Man's Sky. But I didn't want to start anything new, so I've just been playing, like, random things. But I saw that Abzu had come out for the PS4, and I was like, ugh. Like, I was really intrigued by that, and I wanted to try it, but I didn't want to get into something new because, you know, No Man's Sky is just a few days away. Then I checked a review because I'm like, let me just see if it's even worth keeping on my radar. And the review that I read was like, oh, it's beautiful, it's super awesome, the soundtrack, the graphics, everything's fabulous, you know, all 3 hours of playtime are great. And I'm like, oh, because it's an indie game, it's a short game. So I was like, I can try that. I can finish that by the time No Man's Sky comes out, no problem. And the only thing is I did debate whether it was worth $20 for a short game. Because, like, I had the same problem with Inside. It was like $20, and then it's like, boom, boom, and you're done. It's a great experience, but they tend to be really, really short, which is why with the indie games, I tend to like to wait and get them like on sale, or maybe as a free PlayStation Plus giveaway, or Xbox Live Gold giveaway. But then I also thought about the fact that Abzu is the kind of game that I love, the kind of, you know, artistic exploration, like moody, soothing, not like, you know, low stress. It's all about exploration and discovery, and you're not trying to like not die. So like that's the kind of game that I'm into. So I'm like, you know what? I should support that, because if I buy this now when it's just come out and I pay full price, that shows Sony, hey, that's a sale in for that game that they can say, this game is selling well. Let's make more games like this. You know, that kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking. And I mean, I've only played it for like a day, so I don't know where I am in the game. I don't know if I'm like halfway through or what's going on, but you swim around and there's gorgeous fish everywhere and seaweed and whatever, and it's just stunningly beautiful. And you go around, you discover things, and there's no words, there's no story, like, I don't know. I'm just this swimmer, I'm in this scuba outfit, and I'm just discovering things, and I seem to be repopulating the ocean sometimes with these fish. I activate a thing and fish will spring out and join the other fish, and then there's these like dead sections of the ocean that I bring back to life. But I don't know if I'm on Earth. There's something floating in the sky. If I go to the surface of the water, there's something floating in the sky. I don't really know what's going on. But it's beautiful, and it's very soothing to swim around. It's not what I was hoping for, which was like a current-gen endless ocean kind of thing, because I love that, like on the Wii, where you just swim around and you could discover artifacts and fish life and take pictures and all that sort of thing. I would love a game like that, where there's like barely any story, you know, and all you're doing is going around and like finding treasures and taking pictures of fish and stuff, and like doing that kind of archaeology underwater and stuff. Like that, to me, that's fun, you know. This is much more artsy and weird and stuff, and there's clearly some kind of alien civilization storyline going on, but I don't know what that is all about yet. But it's still great, and I don't regret my purchase at all. And hopefully I'll have that finished by Tuesday, so that I can go from exploring underwater to exploring outer space. Come back next week when I will be talking about No Man's Sky at length. And don't forget, before next week's episode, I'll be live streaming on Tuesday afternoon my experience trying to figure out how to play No Man's Sky. So you can watch me crash my spaceship probably and die or whatever. A lot. See you then. Bye.